As you guessed from the pictures, I'm fighting my own personal war against bullying. I pull no punches in expressing myself through art. If these pictures look a bit scary, that's because bullying is scary. It's a hellish nightmare many kids are forced to live through until they're old enough to quit school, or graduate if they can possibly do that, if the other kids will allow them to. I'm primarily an artist and a writer, so I use my God-given abilities to do my small part in fighting this terrible war. If only I could go back in time, I'd give a certain wimpy principal a piece of my mind. Log on to Scribd.com to read all about what I would have said to that guy if only I could have been a little bit stronger. In my article, Hogpen High, I pay tribute to one of the stupidest, meanest schools in the South. Name withheld, of course, full of Neanderthal ignoramuses who could carry homemade weapons and threaten you day in and day out, and school staff would turn a blind eye, or at least it was that way back in 1967, when kids had absolutely no right whatsoever to a safe learning environment. As a charismatic Christian, I believe in and I practice the spiritual gifts, and one of them is prophecy. Throughout history, God has used his servants to warn mankind of judgment for committing sin. Contrary to popular belief, God does not pour out unconditional, warm and fuzzy love on unrepentant criminals. Many scriptures, such as Psalms 5 verses 5 and 6, warns that God hates the man of violence. Psalm 72:4 warns that God will break the oppressor or the bully into pieces. In my free book, Bullies, Fuel for God's Fire, God warns bullies about the terrible judgment of hell which awaits them. I also write fiction to protest against school bullying. You Were the Only Bible She Read is a short story partly based on my own experience. It shows how nasty people just might end up reaping what they sow even in this lifetime. A short story based on some very nasty characters I knew long ago. It's a very sad story, but it's liberally sprinkled with humor. I've always said, if you couldn't laugh once in a while, life would be a very miserable business. Back to School Mom is a full-length time travel novel. Sandy Gerard Franklestone, a 43-year-old fitness instructor and martial artist, has a freak accident in the gym where she works. She finds herself hurled back in time to 1985, the year she ran away from home as a 16-year-old. Sandy's old martial arts teacher, Mr. Wakasaki, contacts Sandy and guides her as she goes back to her old high school to confront the school bullies who made her life hell. Sandy kept a diary of the worst bullying incidents. The older Sandy, alias Cindy Franks, gets a job at the school and is able to prevent these atrocities and battle the bullies. She and Mr. Wakasaki try to seal up Sandy's whirlpool of hurt to prevent negative repercussions from rippling across time and space. Back to School Mom is available as an ebook from ebooksforpleasure.com. Excerpts and illustrations of this novel can be read on Scribd.com. Thank you very much for listening.